Yo dreamers, this is MikeG here, and I have a guest with me. Tell him who you are, man!
Hey, it's the rich malicious chicken himself, Rico Chico Malico.
That's right guys, the legendary badass himself is here to participate in my first ever collab on the channel in a who would win between DC's greatest assassin Deathstroke and the man who broke the Batman's back, Bane.
Thanks for letting me be a part of this, Mike. Now of course, like with most of these Who Would Win episodes, Mike and myself will be running down over on what the powers and abilities these guys are, and what they are capable of. However, for this fight, we will also be compensating to even things out between both combatants.
Yes, so for this fight, Deathstroke will have his standard Prometheum mesh, but also equipped with the nth metal that was given to him by Hawkman, which pushes all of Deathstroke's superhuman abilities to its absolute peak. For Bane, he will be more so the same as well, except we are going to compensate for the Venom from the new 52, which like the original still makes him stronger, but without sacrificing his intellectual capabilities, but rather adding to them instead, simply making him stronger and not just some, mindless beast. Now, the reason this is being done is to see these guys at their absolute best and to basically even things out. Now, with that said, let's see who would win this battle.
Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, was a young man who lied about his age to enter the military early. After earning the respect of his peers and becoming a decorated combat veteran, he volunteered for an experimental procedure which transformed him into a super soldier of incredible power. Leaving the army, Slade used his newfound abilities to become the most renowned assassin across the globe. The serum used on Slade granted him various degrees of superhuman speed and strength, enhanced durability, a minor healing factor, increased senses, as well as the ability to use 90% of his brain's total capacity, which allows him to process information at a rate much higher than the average human. His speed was enhanced to such a degree that he could easily evade and deflect gunfire, kill groups of enemies within a matter of seconds, tag speedsters such as Kid Flash and the Flash himself, as well as evade an unsuspecting Superman. Slade's superhuman strength allowed him to trade blows with other various superhuman opposition, including the likes of Hawkman, Wonder Girl, and Starfire, in addition to kicking in steel doors, as well as being able to turn virtually any object into a lethal weapon. Thanks to his healing factor, Deathstroke was also capable of fighting through almost any non-lethal attack, including gunshot wounds and severe stabbings. This healing factor was bolstered by the properties of the nth metal armor he wore over his body, which allowed him to take blows from beings as powerful as a clone of Lobo. However, this material also possessed magical traits that enhanced the abilities of the wearer, though it should be noted that Slade didn't receive the same extent of these benefits as Hawkman, as it was believed that Wilson's armor was mixed with other materials instead of being made of pure nth metal. Furthermore, Slade wore a set of Prometheum mesh under his armor, which offered another layer of protection, strong enough to withstand energy blasts from Starfire that would otherwise kill him. Thanks to his enhanced brain function, as well as the implication that his heightened senses award him with increased focus as if time itself slowed down, Deathstroke's ability to strategize and stay ahead of his opponents was flawless, which is further validated when accounting for Green Arrow's comment on how everything he does is calculated, and this is best shown when he single-handedly defeated several members of the Justice League, accurately and precisely manipulating each member's actions and exploiting their individual weaknesses. In addition, Slade is one of the best martial artists and swordsmen on the planet, having fought evenly with the likes of Batman on several occasions and single-handedly fending off the Teen Titans several times. Thanks to his heightened sight, Deathstroke was also an incredible marksman, easy rivaling fellow world-class assassin Deadshot, perhaps the best example of his precision being when he used the thrown paperclip to kill a fly. He would also combine the use of his firearms in conjunction with his other melee-based weapons, adding to his unpredictability. In terms of equipment, he carried a sword and staff also composed of Prometheum. The staff could also internally charge energy to fire blasts strong enough to destroy helicopters and cars and blow holes clean through stone walls. It could also be detached into smaller tonfa-like weapons, should he choose. Slade carried multiple small firearms on his person, usually favouring handguns, as well as the occasional use of things such as grenades and knives. On the whole, Deathstroke is one of the most dangerous men in the world and should not be underestimated.
into a life sentence for the crimes his father committed. This young boy was raised from birth within the harsh prisons and forced to fend for himself. Then one day, a fateful accident occurred and slipped into a coma. From this, he discovered a strong survival sense from a vision of his future self and found the courage to kill and overcome all fears. For committing these crimes, he was taken to an isolation cell. Thus, he realized that courage and dedication to strengthening his mind and body were his only ways to survive and become the man he saw in his vision. Calling himself Bane, he trained his body in the harshest of environments, and after his release, continued the same training while also studying whatever literature he found within the prison. Therefore, he was formed into the ultimate killing machine. Because of this, however, the army of Santa Prisco, which was conducting tests on human subjects with a formula called Venom to create super soldiers, and nominated Bane because the warden of the prison was in hopes it would actually kill him. Almost killing him and thinking he had died, was tossed into the sea to find that he had faked his death. During his plunder into the waters, he killed sharks with his bare hands. Realizing that he was now more than human, donned a uniform, used his new abilities and the Venom serum to now conquer beyond just the prison. Now, the Venom granted to Bane during the experiment metabolized and enhanced most of Bane's bodily functions beyond human potential, as well as heightened senses such as vision, hearing, and smell. The first of these superhuman physical enhancements is strength, which he first displayed when he punched sharks to death, as well as pulled metal grates out while submerged in water, destroyed stone prison walls, casually ripped off a soldier's limbs, as well as demons, decapitated 2 men, ripped out a metal door using a man as a melee weapon, and even broke the bones of Killer Croc. Now, this immense strength is also complemented by his speed and reflexes, which has allowed him to swiftly maneuver around many opponents while supporting his massive frame, which grants him immense durability that has allowed Bane to take attacks like wooden baseball bats that have broken apart on impact with his person, pummeled by throwing bricks to the face, and powerful punches from metahumans like Elastowoman, which he was also thrown hundreds of yards by as well. Now, when it comes to his tolerance to pain, I'm going to argue that it's on par with Marvel Comics' Punisher, as he has withstood extreme torment from the hands of others, taken countless stabbings and bullets without even reacting, cauterized his own wounds with a blowtorch, snapped a man's neck while heavily injured, and even survived a beating from Batman with the powers of Superman. Now, to add to this durability and insane pain tolerance, he also has a minor healing factor, although this is only minor and not on par with Deathstroke's. Now, it was through years of physical training that even without the usage of Venom, Bane was a total force to be reckoned with, even around metahuman standards. Speaking of Venom, Bane is most known for using this signature drug to boost himself beyond his limitations. Now, while amped on Venom, Bane increases his size, speed, endurance, durability, healing, and most notably his strength. Now, in terms of how much of an improvement it is compared to Off the Juice Bane, well, he is strong enough to decimate cars, punch through concrete walls, and fast enough to evade gunshot blast, and even if he were to be shot, would be unfazed by most of the bullets, as his skin is now bulletproof, and if his skin is to be penetrated, his healing factor would just make up for it. So, just from these feats alone, we know that the performance-enhancing drug being pumped into his body makes Bane far more dangerous and powerful. Now, in addition to the physical enhancements granted by this periodic injection of Venom, it also improves the already immense intellect of Bane. Now, true, the overall use usually results in mindless insanity, but as we stated earlier, we will be using the new 52 version of Venom to even the odds in this fight. Now, in terms of how intelligent Bane is, well, Bane has one of the most cunning and disciplined minds in the DC universe, powers, as during his time in prison, he studied numerous scientific fields, languages, strategy, and escapology. Bane basically made himself equal or above the leading experts in these specific fields, making him a genius and perhaps Batman's most intellectual opponent. And what also separates him from intellects like Lex Luthor is that Bane strongly focuses on his goals without any obsessive tendencies clouding his entire judgment. Thus, with this immense intelligence, clear mind, and not to mention a photographic memory, Bane was able to figure out the identity of Batman in 1 year, rival a game of chess with Ra's al Ghul, and prove to be an immense devious tactician who has committed numerous upon numerous war manuals by memory alone. Now, Bane's intelligence is also complemented by his insane martial art ability, having trained himself in numerous forms, as well as developing his own style of fighting and being equal to the likes of Batman and most of the Batman family. Thus, Bane's fighting ability combined with his strength and intellectual mind makes him an already deadly force to be reckoned with when confronted. Okay guys, we gave you a brief rundown over both Deathstroke and Bane with their feats and powers outlined. Now it's time to decide who would win this battle. But before we do, it's important to mention once again that whoever we choose is not fact. It's strictly opinion, and we're not expecting everybody to agree with us, and that's fine. But I will ask for everyone to keep an open mind and respect each other's thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And please be kind to one another, no matter how you feel about the topic. Comments will only be open for 1 single month, so if anyone starts anything, you will either be warned, muted, or banned from the channel entirely. I take this seriously, so be very, very cautious.
Alright, so when looking at this battle, they have prominent factors that goes into each of their favours, which makes the contest between the two very close. On Deathstroke's side, he utilises firearms far more often as compared to Bane, who prefers to go hand to hand to test himself. However, if he needs to, Bane will utilise guns too, if the situation calls for it. But even then, we know that when utilising Venom, that Bane has the level of bulletproof durability, as does Deathstroke with the Promethean mesh and the nth metal armour. However, while the Venom does have the benefits of being more powerful in comparison to Deathstroke, despite his enhanced physiology, it is easy to disarm Bane of his Venom by cutting the tubes, whereas with Deathstroke the nth metal and Prometheum has healing properties, so ripping apart the mesh and metal won't be a hindrance by comparison.
In addition, even though Bane doesn't lose agility, speed, reflexes, dexterity, or intelligence, we know Deathstroke is more than capable enough of not only taking on a juiced up Bane, but will be superior in the tactical department of things, as he is considered the greatest tactician in the DC universe. Plus, with Deathstroke's brain capacity giving him a greater sense of his surroundings, as well as his perception of time being slower, allows him to think and process a plan in battle far faster. So he will most likely target the tubes and cut off that flow of venom, as we have seen done before on numerous occasions by Batman himself. But even then, it doesn't matter, because Deathstroke can defeat Bane with venom flowing through his veins, and we know this because of the feats they have accomplished by comparison, as well as the opponents they have faced off side by side.
Yes, Deathstroke has taken on entire teams of heroes, such as the Justice League and Teen Titans, which both rosters have very powerful characters. In addition, he has not only dodged, but taken hits from the likes of Superman and survived, while Bane himself can only really shrug off metahumans, and not those on the level of Supes, as we saw when Bane was crushed under Batman with the powers of Superman. So we think it's safe to say that Deathstroke is not only far faster, but his durability is superior. Furthermore, Deathstroke's healing factor has allowed him to tank attacks that would prove to be fatal, such as a shot to the head, while Bane himself does not possess the durability necessary to survive such things, despite his tolerance to pain. And lastly, while Bane has dealt with Batman, who he himself uses similar abilities to that of Deathstroke, such as stealth, agility, martial arts and marksmanship, there is one key difference, and that is Deathstroke is more lethal in comparison to Batman.
True, Bane has been in numerous situations where there's been lethal force used against him, but none compared to Deathstroke, who is a physically superior Batman that is more willing to use lethal force. Not to say he's a blood-hungry murderer, though. And seeing that he can cut the wing of a plane as well as cars in half with his sword, I think it's safe to say that if Deathstroke decides whether or not to cut off the flow of venom, that he wins this battle regardless of his choice.
Now, while Bane is definitely no slouch, he just hasn't performed feats similar to that of Deathstroke, nor does he possess the necessary tools to kill him or take on the types of foes Deathstroke has gone toe-to-toe with. So on a neutral battlefield, it's very close, but based on what we have actually seen in the pages, going simply by comparing feats and powers alone, Bane is very impressive, but Deathstroke's resume, enhancements and equipment are just more impressive.
Thus, the victor of this battle is Deathstroke. Okay guys, that's all we have for this one, which sadly means that we are going to bring this video to an end. But before I go, I seriously want to thank Rico for collabing in this. It's such an honor to collaborate with a YouTuber I usually look up to as one of the best versus makers on the entire site. And yes, we definitely have more collabs planned, so seriously man, thank you so much. Anyway, if you are new here on Dream Battles, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, comment below for more videos just like this one. Oh, and ding dong that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Also guys, again, if you want to talk to me directly or be updated on certain things involving the channel, then linked below is the Dream Battles Facebook community group page. And if you want to check out Rico Chico Malico, his channel is linked below. Go support dreamers. MikeG off your screen, stay tuned for the next video. See you guys soon.